handwriting. I'm a bit of a rebel. Okay, so when I was 3 years old, I was at my family's cottage on a lake in Michigan. And it's a cottage, not a cabin, because every time I say it's a cabin, I get corrected. So it's a cottage. So I always wanted to run down to the lake, which at 3 years old, when I couldn't swim, was a bad idea. So I basically, every morning I would wake up and I would run down to the lake from the cottage, down these cement steps. And one of the mornings that I was doing this thing that I wasn't supposed to do, I fell and I tripped and I cut my chin really bad, so I needed stitches. And it was about a half an hour to the emergency room, and I had blood gushing out of my chin, and so we show up, and 3-year-old me, I was screaming my head off. And the doctor looks at me and he tells my parents, okay, there's no way I can even get anywhere close to her. I need to strap her to this thing. Now, granted, it's 1975. In this, yeah, do the math. I'm in this room. I can remember it so vividly with the brown wood-paneled walls and this mobile over my head. Whoa! That had these orange and lime green and bright yellow zoo animals floating around my head. And the doctor says, I'm going to need to strap her down. So he has this thing, it's a torture device for 3-year-olds, that you strap the kid to and they can't move and you can inspect them, whatever. And obviously I was having none of it. So, and this memory is so clear in my head. He gets my legs strapped down, he gets my waist strapped down. There's one more strap to go. And so I can picture it and I can feel it and I can sense it. He goes to strap my chest down and my arms, and I punch him in the nose. And I can remember the feeling of my little 3-year-old pudgy knuckles cracking against his cartilage. And I just punch him. And I'm sharing this memory with my parents a few months ago, and I said, yeah, and because I don't remember how my scar came. I still have the scar. I don't remember how it came up, but I was like, yeah, I remember so vividly punching that doctor in the nose. And my mom and my dad, they look at me and they're like, no, honey, no. You really didn't. You didn't punch him in the nose. You were 3 years old. You couldn't do anything. He strapped you down, and they looked at you, and they put stitches in your chin, and that's why you have the scar, and yeah, no, you didn't punch him. I was like, shit. I really wanted to punch him. So that began my life history of imagining myself as a rebel. And in college, in high school, it turned into, I would do rebellious things that were kind of rebellious, but people wouldn't find out about them. Or they were kind of bad, but if I got caught, it wouldn't be really bad. So I would do things like, I would skip class. And I would hang out in the dark auditorium with my other bad friends. And the class I was skipping was study hall. So I would do things like that. And in college, I would date the wrong boy, and my parents would get all pissed at me. And then finally I realized, and this was just a recent realization, and if you did the math earlier, then you know that if there's a long gap of time here we're talking about. So only recently I realized, like, all of the things that I was doing that were bad and rebellious, but only moderately so, were like a little escape valve. And they were leaching all of the rebellion out of me, where I would accept a lot of things that really I didn't need to accept. And so I made some significant changes in my life when I realized that. and I stopped doing this little moderate rebellion thing, and I started just living my life where I could be true to myself. Something's beeping like a crazy person. So the most important thing is that you got to be true to yourself, and you've got to be a rebel to that voice in your head that keeps you tame. So that's all I have to say.